Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good. Hi Elaine, thank you for making it. Hi Catherine, hi Dawn. Hi. That's Dawn, right? The first name. I hope, not Aaron. Hi Lianka. So, what I thought of doing today is a very quick, relatively quick way of doing all kinds of four gemstones. And the thing is that I've been cleaning all over the place and rearranging, and I don't know where I put my little, because I have quite a good number of little pouches with real gemstones, and I know I put them somewhere safe. Okay, so they are somewhere safe, but they are so safe I cannot remember where. So anyway, I know that the most sought after for gemstone on YouTube and in all polymer clay tutorials is Labradorite. And I did make quite a number of go here and share them for you. I made quite a number of full Labradorite tutorials, both live and uploaded videos. What I explained before is that to obtain Labradorite, it's very difficult, and that is mostly because that is a flash effect. And in a flash effect, the problem is that it is not a color of the stone. It is light reflecting from certain surface of the stone. And if you give me just a second, I'll show you. I forgot to grab this ahead of time. So they're actually, the Labradorite is only the one that flashes blue. The stones that flash more than blue, other colors, they are called spectrolites. And I have here a very good example of a spectrolite. And as you can see, it only whenever the light reflects under a certain angle does it bring out the colors. Now, the problem is that polymer clay, hold on, this one has a side too. There we go. Polymer clay is not transparent enough to allow this specific type of effect to be able to show through. You can do it with UV resin, or at least you can try and do it with UV resin. The problem is that you have to put something there. And in Labradorite or spectrolite, once the light is not shining through, there is nothing there. So if you try that with UV resin, you will show the whole thing, but you will not be able to make it go away. And just to give you an example, let's get, for example, this was done, and the one that I linked, right, was done. There we go. Let me mute it. using UV light, UV resin, and magnetic dust. Now the problem is that with the magnetic dust you can kind of sort of obtain that thing, but not perfectly. You'll still see some color there that, yeah, it does show and hide, but it is not perfect, as you can see. Now the other ones, give me just a second. I did another one also using UV resin, and this time color shift. And in this one I used the I think I have it somewhere here. I used the fact that you can layer UV resin. Actually, I'm going to just share it. You can layer UV resin at different angles, but once again, it does not hide it entirely. Hi Mona, hi Colleen. So this is how it looks like. It does flash the colors, nevertheless the colors do not go away. In my opinion, the one that I think the tutorial that I think does the best when it comes to flashing is an older tutorial of mine that I made like 6 years ago, and this is, hold on, why don't you, I did it in the wrong type. But it is done with a material that cannot be found anymore. That was a Prima marketing. So here I have on the right real Labradorite, and on the left the the polymer clay one. You can try with a different one, with a different powder, but it will not be as successful. I mean, I can tell you for sure it will not be as successful as this one. You can see here I'm listing. No, it was an acrylic paint, not a powder, and they do not make it anymore, so you cannot. So it was the Opal Magic yellow blue, and unfortunately, as I said, they do not make that anymore, so it is impossible to make it. You can try with other types of acrylic, but I wasn't able yet to find an acrylic paint that would do that specific effect. Now the other second sought after for gemstone, semi-precious gemstone, is the turquoise. And when it comes to the turquoise, I made quite a number of turquoises. I'm going to share with you the playlist, because I made the playlist, and you can find all kinds of different types of turquoises, and they're from my newer to my older tutorials. There's a turquoise that is called Morency that has a water web type. Then the Royston that has more of a copperish. The Darlene. I made nuggets. I made also certain pieces with that, and I also made how to make a matrix texture sheet for easier turquoise imitation. And these that was 7 years ago, part 1 and part 2 for turquoises shows you how to make different types of turquoises, and all kinds of other stuff. And there are a few that I still need to upload that were sponsors only, and they will go into the members only part of the channel. Now, just in case you didn't notice, I started already doing the uploads of videos and public videos where the members have 3 days. They are able to see those videos, watch those videos 3 days ahead of them going public. And if you didn't notice that yet, and I'm in the process of uploading more, they are this a mica shift plus satin slice combination, then a 3D cane, and an asymmetrical pendant. And you will see the differences, because when I come up with members only, it will say here members only, but when it says members first, it will tell you, but then you have to know that it's going to be a 3 days grace period after which they go public, so you'll be able to watch them. So what is the third? Let me see. What do you think is the third most sought after for polymer clay gemstone? For gemstone made in polymer clay or in UV resin? Because we'll see if I made that. Malachite, you know that I do have malachite up, and you know that there is a playlist on my channel that is exactly that. It is for, let me find it, imitation gemstone techniques, and some of them are newer, some of them are older. This is the link to the playlist. And let's go back to the display, and you can see, you can see aquamarine, jade, there's actually several jades, turquoise, fluorite, carnelian, mother of pearl, Petoskey stone. There is a Charoite malachite that's going to be uploaded for members only. Malachite, rhodochrosite, a second jade, condor agate. It was a members sponsors only, is going to be uploaded in members only. The chevron amethyst, druzy hearts. I had 2 for Larimars, fire opals, matrix opals, again turquoises, lapis lazuli, rainbow moonstones, the Labradorite I talked about. The 4 petersites are going to be uploaded. The blue lace agates already uploaded in the members. And just in case, then what is chatoyancy, to explain the whole thing with the Labradorite and other stones, I did at one point a live with this. And then I had several Sunday specials with creating 4 gemstones with using Pardo. And the Bumblebee Jasper is already uploaded in the members only area. Turquoise is another aquamarine using Pardo. Then I have 4 Howlite. And the Opaline Hearts, the cat's eye effect is already loaded. This one is already loaded, just to show you a little how they look like. To be able to see the cat's eye effect. Okay, so rose quartz I did, opal I did, so you can find them in that playlist. What else do you think we can do that I didn't do? Because I can explain to you how you can do, what's the secret in making all these quartz and quartzite type 4 gemstones, like the rose quartz or pink quartz, and actually there's a cherry quartz. It depends on the colors, and stuff like aquamarine and things. The whole thing is to use a very good quality translucent. Primo is okay, but I personally would recommend Cernit or Pardo. Why I prefer Pardo for all these is because Cernit has the tendency to be a little bit softer. So give me a second, let me bring something again. Like when we are talking about quartz, Unakite is okay. I mean, I can make one, but I'm not myself. I don't like the stone very much. So you can see both in. Sorry, the kitty went through these stones. So we have the pink quartz here. Then. No, it wasn't this one. And so yellow quartz. Let me put them down here because it's easier. Goodness gracious, sorry. I have cat hair all over the place from Finnegan because he's a little climber. So what you can notice is there are these fracture lines, and even if they are not perfectly straight, this is a calcite. This is almost amethyst, almost, but not entirely. And this is amethyst. But that's what I was trying to say. This is obviously part of the wall of a geode, because all those points and stuff that you see, they are actually the inside of the geode. When hold on, I want geode with an E, not an A. All right, so let's get to the display. So see, like if you look at this one, you can see the crystals in the very middle. They are like point, and they are more pure and everything. but the ones on the edge that constitute the wall of the geode, they have some gold, sometimes some green, sometimes some smoky, and that is the reason why this specific one, let me try and find another one that would be similar. Like this one is kind of sort of like that. Or let's get this one. See how on the wall of the geode itself, the color is not purple anymore. So this is exactly what this one is. This part is from towards the inside of the geode. This one is from the wall. Hi, Gayleen. But that's the whole idea. The idea is that they have these fractures. And on this one you can see how it was taken out. They have these fractures, and cernite isn't able to hold very straight lines. That doesn't mean that the fractures are long, straight planes and all that. They are a little bit, they can be feathered, they can be running just a little bit. But the whole idea is that what you need to do with the translucent clay, number one, when you color it for pink or for purple for amethyst, or with a tiny bit of black for a smoky quartz, or whatever you decide to make sure that you use pigments that are transparent. Now, regular clay does not have a lot of transparent pigments. What you need to look towards is alcohol inks, but in the alcohol inks, some of them do not have transparent pigments. They have more opaque pigments, and it's kind of the same case as I was telling you between the regular 2 parts resin pigments and the UV resin pigments. You don't have to worry about transparency with the regular 2 parts, but you have to worry about that with the UV resin, because otherwise it doesn't cure, because the light cannot go through. And it's, in this case, it's not that, hi Christina, it's not that it doesn't cure, but you cannot look, it's not looked through. So what you do as a general idea, you just grab a piece of clay, you make it as you, of course, you condition it. And this is not translucent, but it's just to give you an idea. And then, so this is similar for anything, and you can make different, just very slight. I've seen pink quartzes made with 2 or 3 different hues of pink. No, that does not happen in the real world, or if it does happen, they are not mixed together. They go, like I showed you with the geode, it would go from one color to the next. So you kind of need to make a skinner blend, kind of, sort of. So what you do initially, you just grab your clay and you start chopping the heck out of it. Not very small, depends on how much you want to do the refraction rate in whatever you have. And as I was saying, you do, for example, 3 different colors. You can go from pure translucent to just a little bit of pink to a stronger pink. Now when you do that, again, remember what I showed you with the geodes. The inside of the geode, where the actual semi-precious gemstone is, it's the most colored. The more you go towards the wall of the geode, the more whitish it will become, and you'll have some other colors. So the other thing, if you want to do a piece of transition, there are two things that you need to keep in mind. One is the size of the chunks. The chunks are bigger on the inside of the geode and the smallest towards the wall of the geode. Also, the most colorful will be in the inside of the geode where you have the biggest chunks, and it goes smaller towards the outside where it gets almost completely white. So what you need to do, what I suggest that is the best to do, is to do a Skinner blend, right? Where you have the most colored part and the almost whitish part. And then you just cut it in 3 or 4 if you so desire. And then you go ahead and you start chopping, and the one that's the most colored, you chop it the most, the least, so you have the bigger chunks. The next one, you chop it a little bit smaller chunks than the other one, and the last one, that's the lightest in color, you chop the heck out of it. And then you start putting, it's up to you what you decide to do, and honestly it kind of works the same. In my opinion, it doesn't really give any kind of difference with the aspect of the foam gemstone for quartz, whichever type of quartz it is. You can use opaque white powder or mica white powder. The only thing you need to be very, very careful about is that it has to be a very, very finely granulated mica powder. Now here you can do a little bit of play with it and put like, depends on how many colors of mica powders you have. You can put a powder that's very little tinted, like you get, let's say, two little charges of, you load this twice with white, and then you put just a tiny bit of, let's say we are going on amethyst, put just a tiny little bit of lavender. And then on the next one you get 1 mica powder, 1 regular powder like the one you can obtain from scraping chalk pastels, and then just a tiny little bit of lavender. And on the one that's got the smallest chunks, you just put opaque powder. And then when you put them together, you simply go like this, and you try to, and of course you mix that powder, toss really good, and then you just nicely do the whole thing into a block, and then you start cutting. Now remember, generally normal, thank you, Don. The normal jewelry made with real semi-precious gemstones, they might be on the bigger side, but they are never humongous side. So less is more in this case, and especially when we are talking about more expensive semi-precious gemstones, you definitely, like, and I explained that so many times before, if you do, for example, a faux petersite, do not make a cabochon this big. A cabochon this big would be tens of thousands of dollars. Petersite is a semi-precious, but it's one of the most expensive ones. Let me go for petersite cabochon. Yeah, you can find some on eBay and stuff, but they will not be very expensive. and on Etsy too. Um, let me go on display. And especially if you are not very, hold on, if you're not very familiar with how a real stone looks like, right? It's going to be very difficult for you to, for example, you can see this grade AA Petersite, because it's got the red, the Namibian one is among the most expensive, and you can see it's 626, and that's going to get into the blue one like this is also quite impressive, but it's not a cheap stone. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you make a piece of jewelry with a faux petersite, it's definitely going to look faker if you make it big. And I'm not commenting at all on the quality of the faux gemstone, okay? I'm just commenting on the fact that if it's too big, it's going to scream fake. And as I was saying before, nobody puts on thousands of dollars worth jewelry to go to the grocery store. Okay, so let's see, what we were talking about. Or rose quartz, opal. Opal, again, it's got the same problem with the Labradorite, because it is a flash. It is not even a chatoyancy, it's more of a light flash that also appears only when the light hits it in a certain way. Unfortunately, I do not have any fire opal. I was not able to afford fire opal, and that's again the same thing as it is for petersite. Fire opals are quite darn expensive, so if you make that, it's going to be pretty expensive. You can find some that are a little bit cheaper, but generally speaking, they are, depends on the quality as well and the size. Let's look a little bit at simple Google shopping. Now this one, if somebody is selling a mixed lot for this price, that means it's not very good quality opal, and it probably isn't even opal. Remember that there is such a thing as opalite, which is actually a glass, and it's lab made. The Mexican fire opals are my most favorite, and actually let's go to there are ways to make a kind of sort of maybe possible opal. Why do you show me only this? Oh, because I'm looking in live. Never mind. Just a second. But because all we can do is use those mylar flakes. Let's go to my old fire opal. And go to the end. And this was made, if I'm not mistaken, it was made with Pardo. Where's the end? Okay. So again, it is very difficult to imitate flash lights. or close up you can see the flakes, but it's a kind of sort of type of thing. If you do a black fire opal, that's going to be much better. This one I can, let me give you just a glimpse. This is in the members only part. Let's go to, there we go. This is the result, and this is a Charoite fire opal. But again, it's not absolutely, let me go with opal to get to the black opals. And this is it, and it's an older, again, it's like 5 years old. I know I've been quite lazy for a while, but this is how it looks when it comes to the black opal. It's something that very, very, very honestly, it cannot be imitated with polymer clay or with resin or with whatever. Now I'm going to propose something to you. Let's try and do Charoite, because I know that a lot of people like that. And Charoite is very rare, and let's go again on the display. It comes in all kinds of hues of purple, from the grayish one to the more pinkish one to the more bluish one to it can have all kinds of inclusions in it. It can have goldish type matrix in it. The thing is, if you don't know how a Charoite looks like and feels like, you will be easily swindled. And there is such a thing as a chatoyant Charoite. Let me go here, and I'm going to put in here let's see if we can. Okay, we have this one, and this is an Instagram. Doesn't have a lot of chatoyancy, but it does have some, you see, on the edges mostly. And outside, why do I get other type of stuff? I only want chatoyant Charoite. There we go. And that's because people put keywords that are not and I don't find my thing. Let's try directly YouTube. Okay, let's see how good this one is. This was for sale and it's sold. And what I want to show you is how to obtain these the chatoyancy on it. It's a pretty good chatoyancy, pretty nice. Only it doesn't have a lot of straight lines on it. It's still beautiful. lamp. This is not flashy. It's very hard to find something about it because it's so rare. So let's get back to making one because we talked enough. So what you're going to do is some white pearl, and I'm talking primo here. You can mix it like half and half if you want, half and half with a translucent, or you can have like 2 or 3 different mixes, one that would be half and half, one that would be 1/3, and one that would be 1/4. I'm talking about the pearl, like half and half translucent pearl, 1/3, 2/3 translucent, 1/3 white pearl, 3/4 translucent, 1/4 white pearl. Why is that? Because the translucent will determine more chatoyancy, because it's more the way that the mica particles are there. So I'm going to make a few different, and I'm not going to make a whole bunch of stuff because I don't want to be here mixing to oblivion. So I'm going to make 3 different colors, and for this I'm going to use the plain old violet pearl. Yay! So I'm going to put just a tiny bit here, and then a bigger bit here, and then a bigger bit here. So real quick, we're gonna mix these, and we are going to make an easy peasy charoite. Actually gonna definitely need more. So this is kind of sort of okay. I'm going to add a little bit extra anyway, and I'm going to add this much and then this much. So doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly well mixed. Second, and let's do the third. don't get together here. This needs to be more, so add a little bit more. Now comes the more interesting part. I'm going to go on a 7 on makings. Maybe even an 8. 6, not an 8. A little bit thicker, I mean. Now what we need to do is to make all of them kind of sort of the same size. Kind of sorter, yeah. Okay, so now this one. And this one. Now what you have to be very careful, the difference, the little streaks of color, as I said, are not very important. You don't have to have it absolutely perfectly mixed. That's going to just add more effects. So I am going to cut these in 2, and then I'm going to cut them in 4. The very important thing here is that you need to make sure that you did go with it through the pasta machine until you got the mica sheen. That is very, very, very important. Now, I'm going to stack them, but try and do a kind of different order, not have the same order. That's why I didn't stack them to start with. So I'm stacking them in a different order than the way they were. I have the darker one here and then this. Okay, so now I have them like this. Now this is where it starts being very important. Number one, I need to make sure that they are well stuck to each other. And then I'm going to grab my fine blade. This is not my fine blade. And I might actually grab my cane cutting fine blade. Random order, so you don't always put the lighter, mid, and darker. Lighter, mid, and darker. You gotta kind of go lighter, darker, mid, darker, lighter, mid, lighter, mid, darker, you know, so they wouldn't be in the same arrangement. Okay, and then what is very important, you need a very fine blade. Remember that this you can get for under $5. The small one and the big one, the 7 inches one, that's great for shaving and for mica shifts and all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do, very, 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 very important, I am going to start making very, very tiny slices in a diagonal. And the slices have to be very, very, very thin. Okay, so I have this, right? I'm going to consolidate it again, then give it a few twists here, and go again. Very, 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 very thin. And I'm going to do 2 different techniques using this, just to show you how the whole thing goes. And as I said, it is a palatable, if you want, Charoite thing. So I'm going to cut this in, as I said, in half, and then I'm going to do a little bit of deformation. And then try to reconstruct it. And flatten it a little bit. I'm going to cut the end and chop the heck out of it. And now I'm going to cut this in 3 slices. And then place a little bit of these and then get them back together. And again, get the whole thing where's my, there it is. Refocused, reconcatenated. And this is my side. This is what's going to make the Charoite. Alrighty, so I'm going to make little ones. As I said, I'm not doing a big show of this. It's just a Charoite, if you want, chatoyancy thing. And you can make it darker if you want. You can make a more grayish purple just by adding a itty bitty piece of silver when you do the white pearl and purple. Alrighty, so let's put this here. Make sure that they are well. And grab some cling wrap. Oh, come on. I hate it when it gets all nastily wrapped. And yes, I did do the thing at the end. Still not out of it. Back in there. Oh, one of the little flaps broke. Alrighty, so let's cut these nicely. Make sure that there's no air bubbles under the cling wrap and no wrinkles. And I will show you instantly. Now, theoretically, and for a better realism, you shouldn't put resin on this. You should just sand them and buff them. But for the moment, just to show you how it looks like better, because remember, when you put the resin straight on the clay, it shows exactly how it would look if baked and is this good? If baked and sanded and buffed. It is pretty much the same thing. And this should work too. And with the leftovers, you can always make beads. Let's do a tinier one. I'm only going to put resin on one of them. The rest I'm going to bake and sand and buff. Okay, so let's remove this and then put, as I said, a little bit of resin on one. And then we'll make a little bit more complicated. Is this my regular resin? No. Hard. Where's my regular resin? This is not hard. This is not. This is soft. Yes, this is soft. I don't seem to have enough. I had another bottle here. I should be able to squeeze some out of this, and then I'll go look for it. Oh, come on. There we go. Told you I still had some. I'm usually squeezing the heck out of. Now, if you want to make it even more interesting, make also a regular clay, not pearlescent. Like mix some white with a little bit of wisteria. Wisteria has a perfect color for Charoite. You can also mix just a tiny bit of ultramarine in there, just to give it more. Okay, let's harden it up and work on the next one. Now on this next one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert some inclusions. So number one, this is some scrap clay that just happens to be grayish, and it's a very good gray to use. All you need is kind of dirty clay, and see, this one is a little bit lighter gray, and I can put a pinch of black in here too, and once again chop the crap out of it. So I got this. I'm going to grab me a little bit, a pinch of gold. And just regular gold. That I'm going to get in thin strips like I did with the purple ones. And see, I am tossing, but I am tossing only on this side. So I'm going to cut some more strips here. Now you may ask me why I'm not using a grater, because I don't know if you know, but this is a most adorable polymer clay grater that Polyclay Play has. So I could use this, but the problem is that I don't want to disturb those lines of mica stuff, because when you have a block of mica, and even if it is all in the mica shift in the same direction, when you grate, it's going to, because it's softer, it's not like a carrot, so it's going to change the angles, and you want a specific angle for the mica particles so that they would be kind of like this when you work with them. And now I'm going to keep some on the side, but some I'm going to mix. So the scrappy clay, I'm going to mix it, but again, just do the kind of like roll them, not entirely. And then very careful so they don't get deformed, they stay pretty much in the same direction. And we are going to again deform this. Actually, I'm going to cut a few, and see, this time I cut in the direction of the layers that I stacked. See, it's the layers that I stacked, and I am cutting in the direction of the layers, not in a different way. So I'm going to place a little bit, and I can even make a little bit of a dip before placing this. I'm going to give it a little bit of a dip. There we go. And put here various little combinations of these, which are two different grays, but they are kind of similar, but they will make a difference, trust me. Alrighty, so first of all, I'm going to put these together once again. Go away. And try to get them then I'm going to cut it in half this way. So these are the layers. These were the no, these were the lines, the slices that I made. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this and this, so practically cutting the layers this time. And again, I'm going to make little notches. Just making them a little bit more. And then I'm going to cut pieces of these. And kind of placing them in here. And let's make a notch here too. Oops, sorry. And put it back together. And this time again, consolidate into a, put this back where it belongs, because if not, I'm gonna not find it. So I hope I gave you enough advice for you to be able to try your own recipes and your own things. Even if there are tutorials out there, you can always try to do stuff by yourself. As I said before, my main purpose in all my tutorials is to get people confident enough to try. And as you remember, in most of my tutorials, at the end it says that different than other artists, I tell you to, I'm gonna want this, I tell you to do exactly what I do until you can do it exactly how I do it, because that is the point where you can go ahead and you can I'm going to do this, and you can do your own thing, because once you manage to do it like I did, that means that you master the technique and you can start playing your own game. You know, you don't have to be dependent on other people's tutorials. Of course, you'll be all your life dependent on other people's tutorials. I am, you know. I'm not saying I know a lot about polymer clay, but there are so many people who know more than me and who have better ideas than me and have a better brain for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been in a funk, that's true, when it comes to creativity. I seem to have gotten out of it. I don't know, I hope. But we'll see how that goes. But as I was saying, we all learn all the time. It's not when you stop learning, you stop advancing, you stop evolving, you know. At least that's my motto. I'm always willing to learn about many things, not just polymer clay. Yeah, I do know obviously more than other people, but I definitely know less than other people. So, and then another people, I just love the way that they teach, if you know what I mean. They are such awesome teachers. And I have let me tell you a secret. I have a list with Tiny Pandora's tutorials, and if I want to sleep. It works most of the time, not always, you know. If I have problems falling asleep in the evening, I would put on that playlist, and she's got such a wonderful voice that I just, you know, and I hope that I can remember what I learned in my sleep. It's not that she puts me to sleep, but she's so calming. You know, her voice is just so awesome. Let's do this one, because it seems a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Because I know it has more life in it. Just takes a while to flow. And sputter, of course. And of course, these effects are so nice that you don't really have to imitate Charoite. You can just make your own. I mean, trust me, if you go on all kinds of grays and silvers and stuff like that, it's going to look awesome. There we go. Now let's look at this one from close up. That's good to know that I do have a good okay, let me put it down here and play with, see which of them is the best to play with the focus or with the zoom. Nah, with the focus will be the best. Move this window to the side. That's too close. Okay, there we go. If you want to get them even better, you can even put a little bit of dust in between them before you start assembling. But you can see that it does get the whole chatoyancy. Like, that's why I wanted to show you a video with it. Now, the thing is that, once again, this is primo. So in a lot of the chatoyant for gemstones, and if you remember, I did make the parallel between primo and pardo in the mother of pearl tutorial, because there's one with primo and there's one with pardo, and you can see that there's a huge difference. And if you want to get a real chatoyant charoite, I mean more realistic looking than this, I suggest you use pardo. And we'll go through the colors here in a minute. I'm just waiting for this other one to get. Let me, in the meantime, bring up the pardo on my website. Alrighty, so let's see this other one. Oh, come on. Alrighty, let's refocus. And it doesn't, it's too bright. It's too bright, too bright, too bright, too bright. Yeah, let's warm it up. And too bright. Alrighty, there we go. This will look better. So you can see all the chatoyancy. Let me bring this one again. Like this. Kind of difficult to find the exact proper positions. But this is the idea of how to imitate this stone and make it in the chatoyant. Now, if you don't want to do the chatoyant part, obviously you do not use pearlescent, right? I mean, it's but again, my advice is, if you really want to do this and you want to do a good job, use Pardo. And Pardo in the jewelry line, not the art line. And on my website, kalyanadesign.com, and it is pinned on the homepage, so you will find is the Pardo jewelry colors and properties. And on each of these colors, I will give you if it has pearlescence or not. So if you want to do Charoite, the 4 Charoite, you can use the rose chalcedony, but you'll have to mix it, obviously. You can use the tourmaline rose, depends on what you find. Mix with a little bit of sodalite, because you see it is pearlescent. The lilac opal is almost exactly the color that it should be, but it has very mild pearlescence. So what I would do, I would mix some of the lilac opal, like in, let's say, 2 parts lilac opal, 1 part sodalite, and 2 parts, 1 part on one and 2 parts on another, tourmaline rose or the rose chalcedony, because it will make the colors that are proper to obtain the charoite. But if you want to do, and again, remember, if you want to do a certain semi-precious stones with Pardo, please look here, because you cannot use pearlescence if you want to do, for example, for jade. Or you cannot do turquoise if it is pearlescent. Turquoise doesn't have pearlescence. The angelite is kind of so and so, kind of sort of, but not that terrific. So I hope that you liked this this live. Now remember, and I'm going to put this here, I'm going to also put it on the Facebook group. Actually, I'm just gonna put it on the Facebook group, on the sponsors group, but never mind. What I wanted to remind you is that because I introduced the membership thing on my channel, all the public, and I know I said it in the beginning, but I want to say it at the end, all the public videos, uploaded videos, will be viewable by members 3 days ahead of becoming public. Okay, you'll still be able to see it on my channel homepage, only that it will say members first, not members only, members first. And you can look at when it was uploaded and then just count 3 days, and you'll be able to watch that one. I am in the course of finishing and publishing more, so and don't forget, please do thumbs up, and please don't forget to use my affiliate links both to Polyclay Play and to my Amazon influencer store. And I hope you liked it, and you'll try with not just Charoite but other combinations of colors. The whole deal with this is the way that you cut the clay when it comes to the pearlescence, because as I said, the whole idea is that you don't want the mica particles to be like this, you want them to be like this. So if they are like this and you cut like this, it will become visible only when the light falls on it in a certain angle. So that's what we are looking at. Okay, I was able to stay on for almost 50 minutes extra, so yay me. And thank you again for being here, and see you next Sunday. And hopefully by the end of this next week I'll be able to finish the rosebud cane. As I said, I am having issues when it comes to do this. I hope I'll be able to get an appointment to get shots at the base of my thumbs where I have the issues this week. If not, I'm just taking it easy for a few days, because it's not fun when you cannot use your hands. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to thumbs up, and see you next Sunday. Bye.